Hi everybody, I'm Tony E at Show IP Interface Brief, and this is day 4 of my 100 days of labbing. I've been labbing now for over 3 hours. I just went ahead and started a stopwatch because over the 100 days I want to be able to keep track of how many hours I've actually put in. Sadly, not all of those hours are going to be good quality study hours. Instead, like for the past 2.5 hours, I have been troubleshooting a problem. I don't know what it is. Here on the screen, if you look at my terminal screens, I got a neighbor that's flapping. I can't figure out why. I'm just spinning my wheels here. I'm kind of at the end of my rope, so that's why I'm going to finish up the lab with this, leave it unfinished. I'll probably think about it all night tonight. I probably won't sleep. I was so excited to get started labbing today. I've been labbing for over 3.5 hours, but I'm burned out because I've just been sitting here working on neighbors that aren't forming adjacencies. I don't know what's going on. Anyhow, a couple of things I did successfully. I hopped right in here about 3.5 hours ago, and I wanted to do the lab that I recorded yesterday, and I just wanted to run through it without any help and breeze right through it. And I was very successful with the IPv4 DMVPN with EIGRP. So actually I started off doing phase 1 DMVPN, then I moved to phase 2, and then finally phase 3. And that was great. And then I went ahead and excuse me, I went to get my pen. And then I went ahead and started doing some prefix filtering, which was a little bit cool. And I kind of found out that there's something that I can't do in EIGRP. So if anyone has a way to do what I'm trying to do, please leave me a comment below. Otherwise, I'll tell you what I wanted to do, how it wouldn't work, and then what I did to work around it. So we take our same DMVPN drawing that I've been using for all of my recent labs, which is for the IPv4. This is our hub, and each of these are spokes, and I'm running EIGRP all the way across the board. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to introduce a new loopback over here. And so he's going to advertise this new IP subnet that I configure on the loopback 44 here on router 4. I'll put the router numbers in there. And he's going to advertise it to router 1. And router 1 is going to turn around and advertise it to router 2 and router 3. What I wanted to do was on router 1, I wanted to filter it. So router 4's new loopback would only get advertised to router 1, and router 1 would forward it to router 2, but would not forward it to router 3. And by not forward it, I mean filter the prefix. So I actually found that here on the hub, and I guess in EIGRP in general, we cannot filter outbound updates on a per neighbor basis. There's lots of prefix filtering for if we're on a multi-access segment, such as we have a router connected to a switch with another router and another router. And on, let's say, router 1, 2, and 3, router 2 and 3 are sending us prefixes, and we want to, on router 1, we want to say, hey, I don't want to receive prefixes from router 2. We can filter those out from the neighbor they came from. But we cannot filter the other way, outbound. And I thought that was interesting. I thought for sure I had done labs previously that allowed me to do that. But I suppose I was wrong. And maybe some further research would would give me a method to do that. So what I ended up doing. Let me clear off the board a little bit. Okay, so what I ended up doing was router 4 is going to inject the new prefix from its new loopback. It's going to send that to router 1. Router 1 is going to tag it outbound with a tag of 4444, and it's going to send that to routers 3 and router 2. And I just did a simple route map on router 3 to deny anything with the tag 4444 and permit everything else. And that worked fine. The problem is that puts the control here on router 3 when really I wanted to control the prefix here on router 1. So I haven't figured out how to do that yet. Outbound prefix filtering on a per neighbor basis. If anyone knows the answer, send it my way. Desperately want to know. But this was my workaround. It worked pretty well. I have a whiteboard over to my side, so I'm reading the whiteboard from my notes. The DMVPN, IPv4, the 3 phases, I went ahead and got that knocked out in 28 minutes. Again, I'm running a timer here on the phone, so after 28 minutes, I did all 3 phases with testing and validation. And so that means I had DMVPN done in less than 28 minutes, and I just went through the different phases to see the operations and the configs. However, after that, I jumped over to the IPv6 DMVPN, same exact topology, lab, and configuration as yesterday, and today I could not get it to work. And I could not get it to work, and I could not get it to work. So I cleared the configs and started again, and I could not get it to work. And then finally, I went to my own blog, which I'll pull that up here now if I can. Nope, this is... I went to my own blog, and if you can see my mouse, I'm moving the mouse around. I said I'm just going to paste in the router configs that I have on the blog from yesterday, and I can't even highlight the configs. I also noticed that the sidebar on my blog is gone, which has like my past blog entries and stuff like that. So somehow I've dorked up my own blog site, and I'm just about out of gas, and I don't know if I have the energy to fix it or even investigate. So I have to repair the blog and figure out why these configs aren't working. I don't think anyone else can copy and paste. I asked over in the Landtamer Discord if anyone can see my blog and highlight and copy out of it, and they said they could not. So as soon as I get that back in order, if someone else can try the topology and the configs, I'd love to see if you can get it working or not. But I'm very disappointed that it didn't work out for me today. So it was more time troubleshooting than it was putting in configs. And I really hit the ground running tonight after dinner and was very successful with IPv4, and IPv6 I just fell on my face. I don't know what's the difference. Same configs as I was doing yesterday. Okay, with that, I think that's about it. We'll wrap up there. Tomorrow and for the next 2 days, I'm going to finish up with DMVPN. I've been using EIGRP lately, and I did some prefix filtering, so I think I'll start working on OSPF. I know there's a lot of knobs we can turn on OSPF in DMVPN architecture, so I'm going to try and work through that a little bit and get some exposure to that. And then I think by the end of this week, I'll put DMVPN aside and start on something else. That's not to say I won't touch DMVPN again, but that means it will no longer be the focus of my labbing. Instead, it will be in a la carte. So every lab I do, maybe I'll try and incorporate a little DMVPN portion, but it will not be my focus. So thank you all for sticking with me. I hope everyone's out there doing some labs themselves. It keeps me honest, keeps you honest. Stay with it, lab every day. And I will see all of you guys tomorrow on day 5.